Yo, yo, yo. What is going on? Let's see here. What's up, fam? What's up, fam? We are doing a half-hour live stream today, just while I warm up before we go ahead and do the six-figure barber mentorship call. So if you guys have any questions, man, drop it here in the chat. Speaking of which, let me go ahead and get my chat up. That's so funny. All right. Chat. What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to be live streaming for half an hour here on YouTube before I go and host the six-figure barber mentorship call. So if you guys have any questions, man, drop it in the chat. And I'm actually trying to make sure. Here we go. Comments and reactions. Now I got the chat pulled up. So yeah, man, if you guys have any questions, let me know if the audio is good too. If you guys can hear me, I know I'm playing a little bit of music in the background. Let me know if all of this is running smoothly. Let me know. What's up, guys? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live stream. If you guys have any questions, any Q&As, we dropped a couple tutorials this week too. If y'all have any questions about those or just any challenges that you guys are having in your business, man, let me know. Let me know. I am completely available to you guys until 9:00 p.m. Then we're going to the mentorship. And we're going to be handling that live stream, man. So let me know what I can help you guys with. Okay, here we go. We got something. Elon says, Tito, I just bought the Tomb 45 trimmer and it looks very sharp. I tried myself doing the outline and it made okay, so it scratched your neck. It feels too sharp. Is the trimmer that sharp or do I need to do something? So what it sounds like is that your trimmer is zero gapped, like fully zero gapped, which some barbers really love, right? So that way when you're working on a client, it could be really tap and go. But if you feel like your trimmer is acting way too sharp, you're just gonna have to loosen up the two screws. Actually, maybe this is a video that I need to go ahead and make, because setting the blades is something really important. On your trimmer blade, like if you're looking, you got the still blade back here and then you got the moving blade, you're gonna see that there's two screws right there that are like almost like hexagon shape. If you just loosen those two screws, that'll allow you to slide the moving blade back and forth. So let's say if this is the still blade and this is your moving blade, right now it's probably really close to that gap. Maybe even just a little, if it's overlapped, then that's why it will be scratching you. Or if it's really close, maybe you're just pressing a little bit too hard. So what I would recommend is that you loosen those two screws and pull that blade back just a little bit to leave a tiny little gap all the way across. And then you can retighten those two screws. Maybe this is a video that that's some content I need to make for you guys. A lot of people have been requesting it. So I think that's the confirmation right there. That's the confirmation I need to do that. So if that makes sense, Elon, let me know. I'm gonna go ahead and send this stream link also to our school group. Yeah, but if that makes sense, Elon, let me know. And if anybody else has any questions about the trimmers, about the tutorials we've been dropping this week, or just about your business, how to get busier, let me know. Let me know where you guys are at right now. How's your guys' week going so far? We're Wednesday already, and it's back to school week already, right? So we should be looking at some pretty solid numbers so far. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right. So let me know, man, what I will be on here until 9 o'clock. What in your guys' business right now, what is the biggest challenge that you guys are having in the barbershop? What is the biggest challenge you're having in the barbershop, and what can I do to help you with that? I'll be on here for this free Q&A until 9 o'clock, and then we're going to be switching over to the Figure Barber Mentorship so we can tend to our mentees there. But for the next half hour, guys, let me know whatever kind of questions y'all have. Let me know. I am an open book until 9 o'clock. Then I got to go. Okay, he says, okay, cool. So we got some questions. Again, guys, drop your questions so I can get to them. I'll be answering everything, nothing hidden, guys. We are going to be answering all the questions you have until 9 o'clock. That is when I'm going live here. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so Elon is saying, I'm also new in, what did he say? Elon is saying, I'm also new. What the hell is going on here? He says, also, I'm a new barber, and the barbershop I work, there's more social cuts. Sometimes I have problems with the sideburns area. What should I do with that? So, now, what do you mean by social cuts? What do you mean by social cuts? What does that mean? What's up, Concise? He says, dope vibe you got going on. Thank you, bro. Yeah, I'm just, man, it got dark outside already. I didn't even realize that. That happened quick. Thank you, bro. Yeah, we're just, you know, I wanted just to set it up. We're going live at 9 in the mentorship. So, you know, I'm just trying to drop some gems for everybody, man. What's going on with you, bro? What have you been working on lately? I know you a busy man, too, when it comes to content. But, yeah, Elon, just help me understand what it means when you say a social cut and you're saying that you have problems with the sideburn area. Because let's say if you're talking about, I don't know, like if you're talking about how people like having like a flow back haircut, right? Like just letting all the hair brush back. Here we go. Okay, he says number 2 on the sides and then trim the top. Okay. Well, yeah, honestly, Elon, that's a matter of consultation. You got to ask your client what it is that they want. So the majority of people, they're either going to tell you, I need, you know, square sideburns. So I like to ask, do you like to have your sideburns like squared up, or do you prefer to have them faded out? So it's really just a matter of a clear consultation. So if they're going to tell you, you know, I want them squared up, what I usually do typically is I'll take like the number 1 guard, for example. So like they'll have a 2 on the sides, and I'll pull out my 1, and then we can go ahead and just kind of taper down the sideburns a little bit. If I go from like a 2 closed and like down to a 1 open, it doesn't make that much of a difference as far as like darkness. They're not gonna feel like they have a faded sideburn, but going down to a 1, like 1 level lower, will kind of give you a little more, the hair's cut a little shorter, so it's like easier to get a nice tight shape. You know what I mean? So a lot of customers that I have now, a lot of customers that I film on YouTube, they kind of get it like, you know, balded out at the bottom. They like to have a nice fade. But I would recommend that, bro. If they want a 2 on the sides, go 1 level lower when you hit the sideburns, even when you hit the neck area, because there'll be less loose hairs kind of flowing around. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, definitely do that. Guys, again, any questions that you all have, please drop your questions down below. We're going to be answering all questions up until 9 p.m. And then we will be streaming exclusively for the Six Figure Barber Mentorship. And if any of you guys have ever wondered about it, right, the Six Figure Barber Mentorship, the link is going to be in the description down below. You know, we really focus more on the business side of it, right? The business side of things, how to get your marketing up, how to get more people through the door, how it's possible that a barber can make at the minimum $100,000. Like that's bare minimum requirement these days, man. So if you need help with that, if you find that your income is stuck below $7,000 a month, definitely let me know. I would love to help you guys. Wide open book from here until 9 o'clock, man. I just want to help you guys out. Okay, so Concise says, man, I'm doing a lot behind the scenes. We'll expose soon. Okay, bro. No, I'm super excited for that. He also says, okay, so Elon, Concise is asking you, Elon, do you struggle with head shapes? Like how far you should go up with a guard? That's a really great question. That's a real great question right there. Yeah, because, you know, a big part of it too is if they want a number 2 on the sides, do I only run the 2, you know, like halfway up the head and then kind of like scoop out? I'm a big fan of like running it straight up. You know what I mean? I always say in my tutorials to use the shape of the head as a ramp to launch that clipper up and off the head, right? That's how you get like this nice, you know, even hairstyle. Okay, that makes more sense. So Elon actually was saying, I was not meaning about the side burns. It was about the connection between the side, right? The side and the top. You're talking about this area right here. Okay, so what I'm gonna recommend for you, and I'm actually gonna type it right here. Josh. Concise probably already knows what I'm gonna recommend here. Josh OP/DFS. Okay. This part right here, guys, the Josh OP DFS formula, that is the course that I highly recommend for anybody who has any issues with scissor cutting. If you lack confidence while cutting with scissors, I highly recommend looking into the DFS formula. It's gonna break down specifically that problem that you're having, Elon. This formula will make sure that you respect the growth patterns, right? You're gonna be able to split the hair according, and you build that foundation first. So what I would recommend, Elon, is always clip up the top first. Clip up the top because you're gonna need to make sure that you have exposed appropriately from this crown area, right? Like this crown and then the whole parietal ridge. I find that it's easiest if you build the foundation first. So I'll actually go in most of the time with scissors first to be able to build the whole foundation all the way around. Mind you, the top is already clipped up and out of the way. So if I can do that first, I could build my foundation, work my fade up into that foundation that I set, and now at this point, then you can let the top down and then clip off any remaining hairs to make sure that it all blends well. So again, and this goes for anybody, if you struggle with scissor cutting, if you struggle with having a plan on how to attack any kind of scissor haircut with multiple different textures, the DFS formula is the way to go. Definitely check that out. On Instagram, you could actually look him up by Josh OP. I think. Barber Josh OP, that's what it is. Hold on, I'm gonna add this real quick. Because obviously that's a paid course. It definitely, you do have to pay to take that training, but he does drop a lot of gems for free. I believe this is his Instagram handle, so check out this handle right here, Barber Josh OP. All right, Concise says, Tito, what are other important products that you think most barbers sleep on that they lack on their station? I'd be interested to know what you think are some, because honestly, bro, I keep it super simple. If I think about what I have on my station, honestly, bro, sea salt spray. I think sea salt spray is probably, because like literally I have a clipper, a trimmer, a shaver. I got a clipper comb, scissors, a water bottle. I keep it super simple, bro. And then obviously like your cool care, your aftershave, your shave gel. Nothing else really I have on my station. What I would say is probably that. I would say sea salt spray, I think is probably a very slept on product, in the sense of like, if I wet cut the whole top and then I'll go ahead and spray that in, by the time that I go to blow dry the hair, like everything's kind of already sitting and flowing where it needs to. Let me know what you think about that. I would like to know what you think the most slept on product is, but honestly, I think sea salt spray, because it's not only for the guys who want to have like you know, like all the young guys these days with like the curly broccoli cut. I use it a lot just on like regular flow back haircuts, you know. Anything that needs blow drying, I'm using sea salt spray first. That's like my base piece. Yeah, I definitely think that it is a dope recommendation. Yeah, let me know. What do you think yours is? Man, I wish we could go like collab, like go live together. I see a couple new faces here in the live stream, guys. Welcome. I only have 15 more minutes before I go live on the Six Figure Barber Mentorship. I am a wide open book, guys. If you need help making more money, getting more people in the shop, if your income is stuck below 7K, it's unacceptable. You need to get that up. And if you need help, man, run all your questions by me, guys. I'm just trying to give out value, man, before I go live. I only got 15 minutes left, so please drop your questions down below. Okay, so Elon says, start from the top and then a clipper on the sides. Yeah, bro, like, so not necessarily just start from the top, like clip away the top first. You know, you really want to work like the parietal ridge first, build that. So let's say if there's like a broccoli head cut comes in, right? Hella curly hair up on top. Build that foundation first. If they want bulk on the sides, then that means you'll have to pull this hair down right above that taper area. You know, trim that first with the scissors. Build the base of the haircut, do your tapers, and then at the end you can release that top hair and just clip off the overhang. That's an oversimplification of it. Check out that content. And actually, if you just go through my whole YouTube channel, bro, all of the haircuts that I've done, I would say within this last 2 years, follow the principles of the Josh OP DFS formula. It's my interpretation of his formula, because that's a beautiful thing about his class, is that you can take it, you know, for how it works for you. You know what I mean? So for a free version of that, check out my channel. Another one is Dre Clipper Hands. So here, look, I'm gonna put two handles here for you to note on YouTube: Dre Clipper Hands and Sean Cuts Hair. Okay, so these two right here, Dre Clipper Hands and Sean Cuts Hair, I would highly recommend that you study their YouTube channel along with my YouTube channel. We all use our interpretation of the DFS formula to be able to like kind of construct our haircuts to where we don't have any issues connecting the top to the sides. I think that's a huge issue with barbering nowadays, is how do you connect the top to the sides? These two channels, along with my own, are full of gems that are really gonna break down and really like oversimplify how to cut hair with scissors, right? That connection is a tricky part, but please subscribe to both of these channels right here. Super gems, man, super gems. And we all pretty much we've all done the training with the DFS formula, so we all adapt it to our own preferences. So the three of us, I would say, are really good channels to check out. I see we got a couple more people in. I'm on for 13 more minutes. And then I'm leaving for the Six Figure Barber Mentorship. Please drop your questions in the chat below. I'm an open book, man. We could talk about how to cut hair, or we could talk about how to make money. Whatever you guys want to, leave your questions down below. I want to get to everybody and just give you guys some game before I go for the mentorship. Let's see here. Okay, so Elon says, I went to a barbershop in Brazil once, And I see some barber putting something on the water to help the catching of the hairs, and I feel like it. Okay, so if you're talking about something that he put in the water before he started like spraying you down to cut your hair, he's probably talking about a hair tonic. I would say hair tonic is the one. Personally, I don't use tonic really. I just haven't found a personal necessity for it. But then again, I don't use it, so I don't really know the difference per se. But sometimes hair tonic, and I've even heard of some people putting straight up conditioner in their water, so that way when they spray it down, the hair is just super soft. It cuts really smooth, really easy. So I would try both of those, bro. If you have like conditioner extra, maybe put just a tiny little bit of that in your water bottle. But a product that's actually made for that and is not like a hack would be the hair tonic. Yeah, okay. So Concise says that the IVAC would be a super slept on product. And I think that works, especially because you're in a suite still, right? You and your wife are both in a private space like that. Yeah, for any of you guys who are in a suite, kind of in a more private area, I definitely would recommend getting an IVAC. I used to use that. It's a little too much in my opinion. You know, we work in a shop with 13 barbers. Our average shop for headlines is at least 10 or 12 barbers, sometimes more. I would say that the IVAC is good, but it can't handle that amount of volume when you have 13 barbers worth of hair being swept down, you know what I mean? But for anybody in the suite, I think that's gem. That's a super gem. Yeah, absolutely, Fatal. So Fatal is asking if the Six-Figure Barber Mentorship is good for an upcoming barber who's about to be licensed. We have plenty of mentees actually right now that are in the program that started while they're still in school. So we don't require you to have a license to join the Six-Figure Barber Mentorship, especially because, you know, people overseas don't even require, you know, some people don't even need to have licenses depending on where you live at. But bro, the thing about the mentorship is that if you're in school now and you join, you can get into it with the right mentality. Because the problem is a lot of times, man, people who are going into school and, you know, like the school is going to teach you just really how to pass the test. You're going to get some practice on how to cut hair. But honestly, like the real grind and the real learning starts when you get in the barbershop. What we want to do is teach you guys how to start your career without developing these bad habits. You know what I mean? Like where people are lacking in simple stuff. People are lacking in customer service, or they're not being consistent with certain factors. So definitely check that out, man. I would highly recommend it. At least give us a shot for 1 month, bro. Like I said, I'll be one of your coaches, and another one of like we have like 4 or 5 other coaches with Tomb 45. Even Basio, Chris Basio goes on live at least once a week doing live Q&As. So let me see if I could show you here real quick what this looks like, Fatal. And guys, keep dropping your questions. Keep on dropping your questions. By the way, Fatal, I don't know if JRL makes a better version of it. Maybe it holds more hair. I'm not sure. It looked like a very similar thing to me from what I saw. But Concise works with JRL, so maybe he could tell you more about that. But Fatal, let me show you some of the stuff that we have in the Six-Figure Barber Mentorship and why it works for people at any level. So if you notice here, this is what our program looks like here. So if you're starting here, you see start here. One of the first things, you know, we have a lot of steps here, you know, just the essential stuff. You know what I mean? You start off with your welcome, essential housekeeping. He'll teach you how to navigate our school community. We basically teach you guys how to run your business like a headlines. You see here, the quickest way to build clientele right now. One of my favorite things about this is the 30-day challenge too. So this is one of these things that we teach you guys ahead of time, like how to build that clientele. We even have, like this is one that I made for you guys, you know, business cards and flyer templates. You know what I mean? This is super important for you to have now. We even have booking softwares here for you guys. And it's not only that too, bro. The thing is that it goes even farther than that to get your mentality right. Because if you look over here, we're going to show you guys not only how to make way past six figures, how to get into marketing, how to nurture your clients. Past that, we even have a whole system here for creating content. Basio runs us through the simplest system on how to film content and how to take over all sorts of different types of content, right? You want long form, you want short form. How do you use that for marketing? You know what I mean? It goes deep. It goes really deep. So this is one of those programs, man, that it's going to be able to be here for you forever. So, you know, I highly recommend it. The cost is $120 a month. Here, I'll show you right here. $120 a month. Let me show you here. If you pull up here, let me see. Settings, affiliates, payouts, account. I can't see it in here because I'm already a member. But yeah, this program's $120 a month. It actually used to be Concise. Do you remember what it used to be? We used to have it, I think it was a one-time payment of $2,500 before. But now for $120, you can just commit to it on a month-by-month basis. We just ask that you give us a shot, man. With that first 30-day challenge, you are going to make an extreme much more amount of money, man. So I would highly recommend it, bro. How far are you along in your journey right now? Like how much longer do you have until you get your license? What's going on with you? We got 6 minutes, guys. I got 6 more minutes, and we can pretty much close it out after those 6 minutes because I have to go live for this mentorship here. What's up, guys? I see we have a few more people here in this live stream. Oh, cool. You only have 1 more month, bro. Listen, man, I joined, actually, here, I'll tell you what. Let me show you. This is actually part of the presentation that I'm going to give for the mentorship tonight. I'm going to see if I can show you this right here. This is what my income looked like before I really started applying. Like, actually, this is my first year of getting in the mentorship program, right? I was making 8,700, 95, 10, 7, 89, right? But then when I actually fully started getting into, so I was in a suite. We recommend in the mentorship that you get into a barbershop, right? We really recommend getting into a barbershop because you're gonna have higher exposure and you can work as a team to market together to be able to bring more people in the door so everybody can eat. So me following the mentorship in a suite, this was my year up until November. And then I really started following the mentorship at the end of November to December, and I joined the right barbershop. And we teach you how to find the right shop. That's probably the biggest reason why you want to join, so you can learn the 5 boxes you have to check off to be able to get in the right shop and have a good start to your career. Like I jumped here, my lowest months, my highest months before, right? 10-7 ended up being my worst months before. You know what I mean? Everybody knows January is a slow month, and I still made over 10 in January, 11 in February, 11 in March, and that was last year. That was 2024. That's consistently over 12 or 13 now. So it works. It's worked so much for me being able to follow that system. Man, it's really helpful. Guys, I have 3 more minutes. I got 3 more minutes. Any last minute questions, please let me know. But we're gonna be getting ready to go start this mentorship live stream, man. So we can do a quick fire. We can do quick fire questions if you guys want, but I'll be on for about 2.5 more minutes and then I'm leaving. All right, 2 more minutes. Go ahead, let me know your questions. I would love to get 1 more in, but I'll probably give it like another minute and I'm gonna have to log off. What's the topic for tonight's presentation? Tonight, I'm going over the ACV formula, what that means, and how it can help you to be able just to like, how can you look at your business? The thing is, like, ACV stands for annual customer value, okay? How can you calculate what your average annual customer value is for your client, and why it's so important to be able to keep that in mind when you're running your business? So for example, there's going to be a lot of people. Yeah, there you go. There's going to be a lot of people who you're going to not appreciate because maybe somebody doesn't tip you so well. But we're going to teach you how to nurture those people so that way they can become some of your most valuable customers. And I'll be giving real life examples from my current clientele. Actually, look, here's one of our coaches right here. He's even more than a coach, man. His name is Wachikoki, but really his name is Ray. And he is your student advisor right there. Like, anytime that, let's say if I'm busy, because I have a life, right? I go in the shop, I'm busy all the time. But he's here for you 24/7, to support at any time. What it is, Fatal, is that you're going to run through all the modules and go applying what you learn, and then you hop on our calls. We have 2, sometimes 3 calls a week that you can jump in on, and then we can break down the challenges that you're facing, right? If you're having trouble applying this or that because the owner of the shop you're working at. That's all the time that I have tonight, guys. Listen, I really hope you guys check out the mentorship program. Check the link down below. That's all the time I got. It's 9 p.m. I gotta get off.